So when you talk about, let's say that I was in the process of thinking about selling my home and buying another home, and getting my realtor involved would be one of the upcoming next steps. They're going to ask me for, based on what Aaron was saying earlier, they're going to be asking for some paperwork from me as a self-employed person. What kind of information are you looking for from me in order to make those deals happen? Considering that I've been a homeowner for, I don't know, 27 years, and I have been running a business for 30 years.
So it's going to depend on the lender and it's going to depend on your portfolio and how long you've been in business. The
Okay.
more they trust you, the less paperwork they need.
Okay.
The more organized you are, the faster they'll work with you.
Okay.
Their big thing is trying to determine what their level of risk is working with you.
Got it.
And so if you're a business that doesn't show any income and you pay next to nothing in taxes, it's high risk for them to loan to you because you're not showing a profit, even though your business might be making $1 million a month. And so, things to kind of take into consideration and how much are we paying Uncle Sam a year in taxes? Are those taxes up to date? Do we keep good books? Do we have a record of what our business looks like? And have we been in business long enough that we can show something that's steady and that it can be counted on for a lending institution to say, yeah, I'll loan you $1 million on your next purchase.
All right,
We've run
great.
through this.
For just a second. One of the things that I do all day, every single day, is I work with cleaning business owners who are in this exact same situation. And their goal one day is to then qualify for a loan. And so one of the biggest concerns that they have, and this happens daily, I get conversation daily, like I'm getting ready to buy a home and I can't prove my income. What does a startup cleaning business need right now to start tracking into the future? You said have good records. Is that QuickBooks so that you can run reports and you can see everything that was paid? Is that making sure that all of your taxes, you've got 1099s and W-2s for all of your employees and independent contractors? What kind of information are they going to need so that as a startup business, let's say you're not ready to buy it today, but you will be in 5 years from now? What do you need to do today to get your ducks in a row so that when that moment comes, you're like, hey, we're ready to sell or buy our house, that then you have that proper paperwork that you're going to need?
100%. So, couple of loan types. If a loan institution is looking at you and you're looking to purchase a home as a business, you can do a bank statement loan. Those usually come at 1.5 to 2 points higher in terms of interest rate. And so maybe upfront, it's a little more money, and over time, it's a little more money, but that property can be put into a trust and become a business asset to your business. And most lending institutions are looking for a 24-month history of regular income
Okay.
for your bank statements. Now, that's not based on a credit score. That's not based on anything else. It's literally a bank statement loan, higher interest rate based on your business. And typically that is put into a trust or a business entity of some sort.
Like an LLC or something.
Yeah, that's typically how that would work. What a lot of people do that are showing more income into the business versus personal, and they may not have the personal funds to show to purchase a home, they'll do that loan type, the bank statement loan type, at a higher interest rate with the ability to refinance it later and maybe take it out of the trust, put it into their own name once they're showing higher income on a yearly basis to themselves after they've been running their business for a couple of years. And again, what the lender is going to be looking for is, have you had the same job for at least 24 months? Do you have a steady income? And based on that steady income, your home payment can't exceed 1/3 of that, broken down yearly or monthly. So it's kind of a quick rule of thumb on that. If you're talking to businesses, they're wanting to get into a home, typically 24 months is what most of them are going to look for. And your business has other assets, then that could be shortened. Maybe you own other assets that would equal or balance that out. A local lender, a lender that specializes just in lending, would be willing to consider that, where a bank more than likely wouldn't. If you're buying at or above market value, we probably couldn't. And so what other assets do you have to offset that so that if you default, we have some recourse?
Would lenders consider things like if you'd inherited a property from your parents when they passed away, or if you had cars that or vehicles that were paid off, or you had a boat or an RV or something like that that was paid for, would that be considered? Or because those are depreciating values, except for the home, those other depreciating values, would they consider that? Or that like,
They would. But again, then that's where it gets into well, these business type loans where you get into a lot more technical details where lenders are having to acquire a lot more information. What is the condition of that vehicle? How long is it? What is the actual depreciated value of it? What could we sell it for, et cetera, et cetera. And so thus a lot more paperwork comes into play, when you're dealing with your own business versus just, hey, give me your W-2 returns. Now everything's 1099 and what do your taxes look like? And, little more to play with. But I'll tell you, it has been my experience that any good lending institution out there gets really, really excited when these things come up. It's like a puzzle they get to figure out. And they'll work with you and figure out all those details, but give them time. Don't expect to go out and look at a house this weekend and put an offer in if you're running your own business. It's just not going to happen. It's why we like to get people with a lender up front. And Regina deals with this a lot more than I do. I specialize mostly on the sell side, and she specializes in the buy side. And I'll tell you, she comes to me often going, they want to put an offer in today, but like they haven't done anything with work, and we're like 2 or 3 weeks out on getting their paperwork together before we can even offer on a property.
For people who don't know any different or better, to want to find their dream home before they start talking to a lender.
So yeah, unless you have cash, it's probably a good idea to get with a good lender first.